In this video, we'll uncover 10 incredible facts about Gladiator 2, the sequel by Ridley Scott that has reignited the passion of all fans of the original film. But has it lived up to expectations? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, let's get started with the first fact, starting with number 1. It's no surprise that the film features numerous scenes set in and around the Colosseum. However, to make the battles and settings more realistic, an actual Colosseum was built in Malta on a smaller scale than the original. This task was entrusted to Ridley Scott's trusted production designer, Arthur Max, who created a version that stood 9 meters tall with an arena almost identical to the real Colosseum. This impressive set was one of the reasons Denzel Washington agreed to join the cast, calling it perhaps the best film he's ever acted in.
I think this is the biggest film I've been on. They built the Colosseum.
Number 2. Brace yourselves for this one. In the years following the release of the first Gladiator movie, there were numerous attempts to write a sequel. One of the most unusual versions came from musician Nick Cave, who was invited by Russell Crowe and Sir Ridley Scott to draft a script. His version focused on the mythical aspects of ancient Rome, imagining Maximus reaching the afterlife, where he encounters other souls yet to ascend. Eventually, Jupiter and other Roman gods task him with returning to Earth to hunt down Hephaestus, a former deity who betrayed them. The story takes a wild turn as Maximus is resurrected as a Christian and returns to Rome on a mission to stop the spread of Christianity while also confronting a new emperor, Lucius. The film would have ended with Maximus cursed to live for eternity, depicted in a montage of battles through the Crusades, World War II, and the Vietnam War, eventually showing a modern Maximus working at the Pentagon in Washington. Nick, maybe it's best if you stick to music. Let's move on to number 3 with the rhinoceros scene. Many of you probably wondered while watching the film if the fight with the rhinoceros was inspired by real events from ancient Rome. Well, the scene isn't as far-fetched as it might seem, because although rare, rhinoceroses were indeed known in ancient Rome. They were imported alongside other exotic animals like lions, elephants, bears, and crocodiles. However, according to historians, the presence of sharks in the Colosseum, as shown in the movie, was highly unlikely. As for the rhinoceros fight scene itself, it was created using a 3D printed model controlled via remote control. Let's move on to number 4. Focusing on the potential choices for the role of Lucius. Despite Paul Mescal's audition taking place over Zoom, he was almost immediately cast, as Ridley Scott had considered him the top choice from the start. However, Paramount wanted to explore other options and held screen tests with actors such as Timothée Chalamet, Miles Teller, Austin Butler, and Richard Madden. I must admit, I'd be curious to see Chalamet's 60-kilogram version of a gladiator. But jokes aside, let's move on to number 5. To play the role of a gladiator, having an impressive physique is essential, and Paul Mescal went through rigorous training and diet to achieve it.
And in terms of becoming the gladiator,
Yes.
The physicality of it,
Yeah.
how much did that entail?
It's lots of like chicken breasts and heavy lifting of things.
To prepare for the role, he followed a diet centered around sweet potatoes and ground meat, gaining 8 kilograms of muscle out of a total 18 kilograms gained. As he himself stated, the goal was to develop a physique that would intimidate warriors, rather than achieving a model-like definition. Additionally, Mescal brushed up on the Roman history he studied in school and dedicated time to mastering fight choreography, horse training, and sword techniques. His transformation into an ancient Roman warrior involved intense workouts lasting between 40 minutes to an hour and a half, 6 days a week. Number 6. As you know, the beloved Pedro Pascal plays a significant role in the film. He's truly the actor of the moment. Fun fact, the fight scene between him and Paul Mescal was filmed in a single take. Pascal himself revealed that it was one of the most physically demanding challenges he's ever faced, not only because of the physical effort required, but also due to the intense heat. The Colosseum scenes were filmed in Malta during the peak of summer, so you can imagine the struggle. But hey, anything for those millions, right? Let's move on to number 7, where we'll talk about money and locations. First of all, how much did this film cost? Initially, the budget was set at $165 million. However, after some on-set delays and incidents, which I'll discuss shortly, the budget increased to $250 million, eventually reaching $310 million. As for locations, filming began in June 2023, primarily in Morocco. The production and cast later moved to Malta and the United Kingdom. There were several setbacks during the shoot, including an accident involving stunt performers in Morocco on June 7, 2023. Number 8. Denzel Washington revealed that a same-sex kiss filmed for Gladiator 2 was cut from the final release of the movie. The actor, who plays Macrinus, stated that he shared a kiss with another male actor during a scene, but the moment was ultimately left out of the final cut.
And I love that.
The revelation came when Washington was asked in an interview how gay was the Roman Empire. His response was unexpected, leaving the interviewer surprised by the candidness of his reply. Washington himself admitted he was disappointed that the scene didn't make it into the film, describing the cut as a decision he didn't foresee and acknowledging the bittersweetness of the situation. Well, Denzel, maybe the next kiss will get its moment. Let's move on to number 9. Earlier, I mentioned an accident on the set in Morocco, so let me dive into the details. During the first week of filming in Morocco, a planned stunt scene resulted in 6 crew members suffering minor burns. It appears that while testing some scenes involving real fire, things got a little out of hand. The outcome was that 4 of them had to spend a day in the hospital to treat their injuries. Luckily, none of the injuries were serious, but it was definitely a scary moment during production. Number 10 brings us to none other than Russell Crowe. What did he think of the latest film? Well, Ridley Scott didn't consult Crowe about the sequel, explaining to Empire, "I think he's still one of the best actors in the world, and I think we have a good relationship." I hope so. And Crowe himself shared his thoughts on the Kyle Meredith with E podcast, admitting, "I'm a bit uncomfortable with the fact that they're making another one, because obviously I'm dead, and I have no say in the matter." He added, "There are a couple of things I've heard that make me say, no, that doesn't fit the moral path of that particular character, but I can't say anything about it, it's not my place." So, we'll see how it turns out. Alright folks, as usual, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below, and if you feel like it, let me know what you think about the film. As always, we'll see you in the next video.